What is cracking, people? It's
I was trying to play
Saturday.
the air drums and I heard the music
You were
stop.
trying to play the air drums. I was bopping to my own intro music, but I got to get that updated soon too, because it's gonna be old by the time next year hits.
I gotta
But
get update my intro. My intro still has Trey Lance in it, dude. I've
yeah,
been
the one
lazy.
for the Niners coast to coast does the same thing. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a Saturday edition of, well, we don't even have a show name yet. We'll just say a Saturday edition of Aaron and Bash talking Niners as we preview the game tomorrow. Maybe kind of go over what happened last week because that was a pretty jarring loss, and look forward to a nice Sunday full with football. It's going to be nice. It's a nice 1 o'clock game for me. It's going to be like 10 in the morning for Bash, but hey, whatever. uh,
That's for me.
so, what's that?
Sucks for me.
It's what's great is football by 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me. I just can relax and watch the late games. So, but how you doing, man?
Doing good. Just ran some errands before the show, and yeah, weather's good right now. It's not raining. It's been raining throughout the weekend, but it's not one of those nice days where it rains during the whole time that you're asleep. Kind of one of
Those
those
are the
days when it's
best.
kind of sunny. Yeah, so we need the rain, so it's all good.
Yeah, I have an uncle duty right now. My sister came over with the soon to be teenagers, and I got a little. They still like me a little bit, but it's definitely getting harder and harder to pull out affection from. You know what I mean? As kids get older, especially girls, but I'm
Yeah,
still
I
cool
noticed.
enough, I guess. Sucks though, but it is life. But at least
Yeah.
they still, hey, they could be worse. They could say, "I'm not coming over because he's a creep," and I'm not at that level, so that's always good. But man, so I talked to you on and off during the week, but I haven't talked to you on YouTube. So I'd like to get your thoughts, just your overall mindset and thought process coming out of Monday night, and what you've been marinating on mentally since that game ended.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of those guys who sits there and just starts cussing up a storm all throughout the game or starts cussing up a storm all week long and crying and moping that we suck, we suck, we suck. My life has to go on. I mean, as much as a big Niner fan I am, sure I'll talk Niners with my friends at all, even off stream, but I'm not going to mope about it, like crazy. But I mean, Brock Purdy threw 4 interceptions and we lost and on a big stage, and they said, "Oh, it's going to be the MVP battle and all this other crap," and things didn't go our way, and it is what it is. And I'm not going to put Brock didn't could have had Brock probably had one of his worst games, but I'm not going to put all those interceptions completely on Brock. Even Kyle Shanahan said in the presser, even Dante Whitner said 2 of the throws were pretty bad. So he was obviously bad on those 2 throws. The other 2 throws were there was just a lot of unlucky bounces in this game, and it's unfortunate. It sucks, but you can't take those back. You can't get them back, and you got to try to fight through adversity in those types of games. And sometimes your fight isn't strong enough, and that's pretty much what happened. But hey, we're still the number 1 seed, right? So
Yeah, we
still
still
got
have
that
the
in the
number
bag.
one seed capability. A couple things could happen tomorrow. We win, and both Philly and Detroit lose, and if we win, we capture the number one seed, or we just have to win out. Win the last two games, we get home field advantage. So, as bad as last week was, we still have control of our own playoff destiny. And like you were saying to me offline, and maybe even online, you thought that a loss would be beneficial just because you thought that there's no way the Niners could, win like, 7 to 10 straight games to end the season, going through the rest of the regular season and the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So, you in a way got your wish, but in a way, it kind of works. You're right. Uh, I feel like the chances of a team winning out is really, really low. And the fact that they lost the way they did, which was almost like a wake up call loss, was, I think, beneficial. I don't really want to say that they were humbled because that just takes away the credit from the other team. I thought Baltimore just kicked their ass straight up. That was a sad showing by the Niners, and Baltimore just their defense was so sticky, especially their secondary coverage in that game. I felt like all the passes the Niners threw were challenged. And then, of course, you had what happened with the injuries throughout the end of the game with the offensive line, which I was just timed to pull Purdy. They pulled Purdy out of the game. They put in Sam
Oh.
Darnold.
They should have pulled
Um,
pretty sooner, by the way.
you think
I
so?
think they waited too long.
Yeah, and the fact that he got hurt again with the stinger it's a little concerning. Me and you talked about in the offseason about the offensive line. There's a little bit of concern about, getting guys hurt, and the fact that we didn't draft DeJuan Jones, right?
Yeah, I try not to say his name for God knows how many weeks. It's just
lineman
the low hanging fruit, but it's somebody just texted me the other day like, "Hey, did you see how good he was playing the other night?" And I didn't really watch the game that the Browns played against the Jets, but I would have been surprised if he was balling out and playing, because anytime I've seen DeJuan Jones, he looks like a monster out there. Like, why didn't we get this guy?
We could have drafted him. Instead, we drafted a kicker.
He didn't fit the system. He doesn't fit the scheme. I'm sure he would have fit the system a lot better than what McKivitz is doing right now.
Yeah, so McKivitz is pretty bad. He's pretty bad.
There's times where McKivitz is all right, and it's like we're successful, so it's like okay. But then there's other moments where it's like I think he was one of the reasons why what's his name why Purdy coughed it up on one of the plays. Well, because I know one of those plays he got smashed from McKivitz's side.
He got hit in the hand, so that one that looked like it just thrown right to the guy, that was actually his hand was hit. But to me, that was just a perfect combination of just crap that game. I will say, or at least I want to kind of move off of the game and let's go to Purdy. What is in your mind the most important thing that the 49ers and Purdy can do going into this game with Washington? They say that they got to flush the game and just kind of put it behind them. And, he talked a lot about, a lot of stuff in his press conference. He talked about maybe he kind of, bought into the whole playoff preview, Christmas, holiday, Monday Night Football, big matchup. He said he kind of fell into that a little bit. And he pretty much said that he just took whatever away from this game. He just took it as a learning experience and going forward. And he says, I'm still going to make mistakes, but he goes, I can't let things kind of multiply and stack on top of each other. When you make mistakes, making a lot of them. So what's your feeling on Purdy going forward, what he has to do to kind of rewrite the ship?
I'll cover that in just a second. I want to go back to a little bit about the win streak, because on the last game that we won, when we did start our win streak after 3 losses, was against the Jags, and we put 6 wins together, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. And that win was on November 12th. So I was just saying, I was researching the NFL teams that won Super Bowls over the past 8 to 10 years or so, and most of them had at least one loss in December. Some teams had multiple losses in December. The one team that had a super long win streak was one of the Patriots teams that Tom Brady led. But keep in mind, those were 16-game seasons. Now we're talking 17-game seasons now. And I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's good to lose and we lost, so we're going to put a positive spin on it, be a bunch of homers, and we're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that you do have to hit the reset button at what point in time before you start your little playoff run. Now, where we end up, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, right? Sure, we want to win the Super Bowl, but I just say it's just better to hit the reset button, gear yourselves up mentally and physically, and then whatever you can to start a new win streak, because a November 12th win streak all the way to February 11th just doesn't seem likely, in my opinion. But we got that out of the way, and now we just got to be focused. And Purdy, and what you're saying about Purdy's, Purdy's going to be facing a pass defense that's the weakest in the league. And
it looks like they're going to be missing their 2 top corners as well.
Yeah, well, Tariq Castro-Fields is going to start, a guy who we cut. 6th-round draft pick is going to start. So if we don't, that defense has been eaten up alive the whole season. They give up the most passing touchdowns. They give up the 3rd most passing yards, and they no longer have pass rushers on the edges like they did. They used to have Chase Young. They used to have Montez Sweat. They still got Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen, who are pretty strong D tackles up in the middle, but they're not putting up big sack numbers this year because their D line got weaker. That's what it is. They can double them more, but that team gives up a lot of passing yards. If Purdy doesn't tear it up this game, I'm not saying that I want him to go out and he has to hit 5 touchdowns and get 450 yards passing or whatever, but I'm saying he should have a pretty good game this year, considering the fact that this is a pretty shitty pass defense that we're facing. And I just hope he just bounces back from here on out to the rest of the playoffs. And hopefully maybe like you were saying, that maybe he was overthinking things. Maybe the whole MVP race got caught in his head, and the winner of this game is going to win the MVP, and the winner of this game is going to tell you who wins the Super Bowl and all this other crap. Who knows if that crap popped in his head, and it was not supposed to, but maybe naturally it will. And the people say they can say they avoid the media all they want, but in this day and age, the media is everywhere. You pick up your phone, the media is there. You know what I mean? People text you and they hear this and they hear that. And I almost feel like, back to the Ravens game, I feel like Mike Florio fucking jinxed us, dude. He opened his mouth and talked so much shit on the 49ers behalf and pissed off all the Ravens players with that. And I bet you he fueled their fire. But
and you know how much we hate him. You know how much we hate him.
He never likes the Niners. He never picks the Niners. He always shits on the Niners. And then it was almost like reverse psychology where he boosted the Niners so much to the point where he shitted all over the Ravens, you know, and it's like, and it worked against us. So he can go fuck himself.
David, exactly. David McNiner says Commanders are ranked 31st in the league against the pass, ranked 32 for points against too. So, I mean, the Niners, if there's a game to get back, nice mug. If there's a game to get back in the good graces of the offensive gods, no better team to go and do it against than the Washington Commanders, formerly the Redskins.
And teams with shitty pass defenses, aren't used to playing a Swiss Army knife out of the backfield like McCaffrey.
Right.
I could just picture McCaffrey lining up in the slot and just like destroying and having picnics with their linebackers.
The Niners need to get out of this game healthy. That's my biggest.
Oh yeah.
They are really dinged up right now going into the playoffs. I think, one thing too that I think is a little bit alarming is that the Niners have clinched the division so early and clinched a playoff spot so early. You can't tell me in human nature that people don't relax. I don't know what it was about going into this Ravens game, but I was confident in the Niners more than I've been this year, because I was like, yeah, the Niners have, we keep saying respect the other team, and then they go in there and they smoke those guys. Well, this is the one time where I was confident in the Niners and they actually lost. So I don't know, like you said,
maybe it's better off. But remember how you said you watched the games and you had PTSD over Jimmy G throwing Purdy drops back and throws, he gets scared, and I told you, and I'm confident whenever I watch Purdy. So maybe it's better that you're scared, and then we end up watching Purdy ball out. So
you want to do the shout outs?
Yeah, we can both do them. It's up to you, man. You're
just I watch your channel. You're always better than me than shout outs.
Okay, all right, whatever. So Red Jet was here early. She says, "Hey chat, we got Jupiter's Size. Says hello everyone. I'm here to party. I was up in here for a second, and David Corona says, "What's up, 49ers minded?" And Aaron. A lot of people pluralize my screen name, but it's 49er minded, meaning like you have a 49er mentality. Shout out to KRS-One from Boogie Down Productions. I got it from Criminal Minded, one of his famous songs.
KRS-One.
Yeah, David McNiner is here. Says, "What's up, Bashar? Let's have go 49ers. Check out his YouTube channel. He goes live with Brian Culp. Danny Golden TV, one of my good buddies from my TTC 49er days. Ran into him at the New York Giants game back when Nick Mullins was playing in 2018. Nice. Really good dude all the way in Arizona. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Hit the like and subscribe button on this channel. Subscribe to both channels. Check my channel out in the description box. And you're watching on Instagram stream, you're watching on the Twitter stream, watch on the Facebook stream. Hit up the YouTube channel, 49ers First Takes. Like and subscribe and hop in the chat. We'll shout you out.
Yeah, we got it streaming on Instagram. We have it streaming on YouTube. We have it streaming on Facebook. I wish I could figure out TikTok, but unfortunately, I don't know. Something's wrong with my end of it. Apparently, you can.
You can from StreamYard? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, StreamYard, you can go to TikTok, but I have no way of finding how to do it and getting the stream key like you do for Instagram.
Yeah, I finally figured out the Instagram one, which is cool.
Yeah, the Instagram one is cool. I mean, I don't have any following on Instagram, so I get like 5 people, but none of them will stay. That's why we're trying to get our guy Raj, who has such a massive Instagram following. Man, he thinks he's growing now and getting a lot more followers. Wait till he gets that Instagram.
Raj is humble. He's humble. I was trying to get him to stream the Instagram last night, but I get the kids. He hasn't figured it out just yet. Or
he said he was waiting till he gets a laptop.
Oh, that's what he told. Yeah, you're right. He hosted last night. Yeah, he's gonna get a laptop soon. He's gonna get a mic and all that. So he might get a green screen too. So it should be really cool to see Raj's new setup.
Definitely. I told him it helps a little bit. So we could stay on offense, or we could jump over to the defense a little bit about just the situation that's going on in the secondary for a lot of people who know. The Niners secondary is hurting. They lost already Talanoa Hufanga at safety early on in the season. And then last game going into, or it probably was a day after. I mean, he was playing during the last game. Jair Brown, who took the place of Talanoa Hufanga, now has an injury. So Logan Ryan, who we signed after the Hufanga injury, will be starting across from Tayshaun Gibson. It looks like not Deommodore Lenoir, but Ambry Thomas is nicked up. Niners secondary, man, they're hurting a little bit. What's your concern with the 49ers as far as, as they're rolling into the playoffs, having all these, injuries, especially on the defensive secondary side?
Well, I don't want to be one who complains left and right about injuries, but it just sucks. It sucks having to talk about it. It sucks having to watch games and see your players go down. It's never a good thing. What's the shout to Jimmy Perez? Sebastian, Aaron, Happy New Year. Appreciate you. Yeah, is Trent Williams playing? I don't know. I'm hearing mixed reports about Trent Williams.
He said he was taken off of the injury report. He is no longer listed. He has no designation, it says. So it looks like he's going to play. I know that it looks like Elijah Mitchell is scheduled to play tomorrow, which is rare because he's always hurt. And then we also have Eric Armstead, who's injured, not playing. I mean, the Niners are nicked up all over the place.
Okay. I'm looking at Raj's RSF 49ers out injury list over on Twitter just to be sure. I got really scared about the Trent Williams thing. Good thing I don't see his name on there. Yeah, Jalen Moore does have a concussion. He's out though, so hopefully Trent Williams is fine. Yeah, it sucks about Jair Brown though, man. I love Talanoa Hufanga. Was so hyped up that we had him playing, become an All-Pro last year. Hyped up about him this year. I got to meet him and everything, and got hurt, which really, really sucked. And then Jair Brown, when our third-round draft pick, steps in and starts playing well. Now he's out with a damn knee sprain, and that sucks. But hey, smart for us to pick up Logan Ryan. I mean, he was one of the better zone corners in the NFL. Won Super Bowl with the Patriots. Might have one too. I'm not sure, but Logan Ryan is a savvy veteran and who's been moved to safety on other teams before he came to the Niners, and that's a pretty good replacement in my opinion. Should do well. Hopefully, he does well this upcoming game.
How much do you think? Somebody tweeted this, brought it to my attention. How much credence do you give to the injury of Jair Brown? Do you think they could be protecting him and maybe it's not as serious as it is, and they're bringing in Logan Ryan to kind of, bringing some stability into that secondary? Because Jair Brown in the last couple games, he's been missing some tackles. He's been playing pretty bad. The
last game I noticed he could have did a bit better. Done a bit better. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it does. I do find it extremely interesting that all of a sudden Jair Brown is injured after having probably one of his worst games of his young rookie career, and then Logan Ryan is just plopped right into that spot, and no one's even brought it up. I don't know. I just found it to be interesting. I don't know. Any thought on that, or am I just grasping at straws here?
I mean, I wouldn't think too deep about it. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe let's just look at Eric Armstead, for example. He's ruled out, right? But maybe if Eric Armstead if it was the Super Bowl, for example, they'd be like, oh, Armstead, go out there and play, Who knows? Who knows how serious these injuries are? But if we are just taking it easy on certain players, that's good. That's good to rest up certain players and throw out your depth players out there. I hope that's what we're doing to our advantage, and hopefully it's like that. I'd hate to have just a bunch of guys that are seriously injured and then we have to throw out all these reserves, but we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned, but at the same time, we've done a pretty good job this season of bringing in lots of either good depth. I mean, we brought in Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory was a trade. Am I right?
We traded for him.
Okay.
So Rogers I don't know if he told you, Rogers on the sidelines for the last game. You might have known that part.
Rogers there.
He said he saw Randy Gregory barfing up a few times on the sidelines.
Yeah, it was on Twitter. Randy Gregory was throwing up in a garbage receptacle during the game. He was sick.
I couldn't imagine playing a game and then you're sitting there throwing up on the sidelines and still playing. I mean, when you do play, there's a certain adrenaline that comes in, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have been able to pull it off. I mean, maybe I would have played, but it might slow you down. It should slow you down.
He not remind me. He had earned a ton of respect for me because you heard he was like kind of a little bit of a character issue guy, and you would think a guy with a character issue would be dogging it when he's sick. Maybe he's not as sick as he really claims to be. Blah blah blah. But the fact that this dude is like playing, throwing up, going back out there, going back to the sideline, throwing up again. Props to Randy Gregory. Nobody had a good game on defense. So you could say, well, he didn't play well on defense. Nobody did. They sucked. Everybody sucked on defense that game. So props to Randy Gregory throwing up and still playing. What were we talking about? So we got Randy Gregory via trade. Then we traded for Chase Young. So that's 2. Then recently we got Sebastian Joseph Day.
That's a good pickup.
I mean, depending on who you talk to, some people say he's butt and he's not real good, but he was a captain on the Chargers before he was cut. So, I mean, they just don't make any bum a captain on their team. So, to me,
he was one of Brandon Staley's favorite players, and I think part of the riff was that Brandon Staley was out, and I don't know. Sorry, what were you about to say?
They let him go to be able to catch on with somebody, kind of thing.
I'm not sure what the whole story was, to be honest, but he's a pretty good player. He can stop the run, and we need help with stopping the run. He can run stuff in D tackle. He's not that big, huge Tony Siragusa, Will Fork type guy, but pretty damn good D tackle. Won another Super Bowl champion, one with the Rams, and I was more than happy when we got him.
Yeah, you guys, people want to say what they say about John Lynch and Kyle and some of the missed draft picks that we've made, but there's been some serious wheeling and dealing this season. I mean, me, Bashar, Raj, a lot of us complained that the Niners didn't have enough depth issue at the edge position, and that it was Bosa and Hargrave and nobody else. And through the course of the season, it's almost like they listened to us. They tripled down on that defensive line. Joseph Day, Gregory, Chase Young. I mean, they're doing what they can do in order to help bring a championship to the Bay. They're not sitting on their hands and not making any moves. We could say that in the past that maybe they did that with certain players. Maybe we didn't go out and get, when the quarterback, who's now the Rams quarterback, help me out, Matthew Stafford.
Stafford, yeah.
We lost out on Stafford. The Niners were in on him, and they, the Rams came in and swept them at the last second. There was a lot of grief about that. He got them a Super Bowl, but I mean, listen, they're doing what they can to get this team in a position to win a championship this year, and that's all you can really ask for. It could be worse. Look at the team was in 2017. I mean, you got Cowboy fans talking trash who have to literally go to 2017 and make a point about how they're going to come into Levi's and kick our ass when they haven't done it in years. I don't know if you've seen that on Twitter.
I didn't see. I missed that.
There's some dude just running his mouth about how the Cowboys are going to put the beat down on the Niners, and he's got a clip of them beating us back in, I think, either 2017 or 2018, and people are like, dude, you had to go back that far to find a successful
we had
clip.
no squad in 2017. We built.
Yeah, we were horrible.
Yeah. It's crazy. So you mentioned how much John Lynch and Shanahan are doing a great job of trying to build up this roster and make this roster better and better, even though it is still pretty good. If they'd only have done that for the offensive line, that's my only complaint.
I know.
And there's one position group that I wish they would have strengthened up, especially in the offseason, in the draft. But it is what it is.
Bashar, I really think, this coming offseason, I don't want to talk too much about the offseason because we're still in the midst of ready to go into a playoff run. But the Niners have to make a serious point of emphasis to draft offensive line in this coming NFL draft. They have a first-round pick. I know it's going to be late. I'm of the mindset you take a first and maybe some other higher picks and try to trade up into the back end, or like the middle of the first round, say maybe pick 17 through 24. I'm sure you could find a starting offensive tackle who maybe drop to that, unless you really think you need to, give up some assets. I mean, they have a lot of picks. Would you be against that? would you be against them trading some picks and trading up into maybe the top 15 to get an offensive tackle?
You know what? I did a few mock drafts already, not too long ago,
Really?
and yeah, oh yeah, I've done a few of them a few weeks ago, probably a month ago. I started, and there's some pretty good quality talent. Assuming we're picking at the bottom of the draft, there's still going to be some talented guys. Now I don't know if they're going to be DeJuan Jones good, like the way we woofed on there, but there might be some guys who fit our scheme a little bit more. But there's some good names. I'm forgetting the names now. Somebody even suggested to me one like popular mock draft guy on. I think his name's the mock draft guy, if I'm not mistaken. He's on Twitter. He suggested some names to me too, and I wrote them down and I saved them. But yeah, I definitely think we should draft for offensive tackle. A lot of people on the mock drafts I look up, like the mock drafts are saying that we should draft for offensive tackle at that position of the draft. So we don't necessarily have to trade up and sacrifice other picks. I think we'll do fine if we just sit pretty at where we're at. But if there is somebody that they covet as like the next god of offensive linemen, who knows? They may move up about 8 spots or 10 spots. Who knows? I mean, but I'd be perfectly fine if they just sat there with their picks this year and just let the cards play where they are.
See, I'm not, because if they win the Super Bowl this year, I think it's a strong chance that Trent Williams retires. And now you're out. Now you're without a left tackle going into the next season. They got to do what they have to do. Like David McNiner, he says, I think they have 12 picks currently. 12 rookies ain't making this team. 100%. How many positions are to be available? True. You know what I mean? I'd rather them have 5 draft picks out of 12 that they keep, and all of those positions actually be guys that actually have a chance of making this team. Instead of sometimes what the Niners do, which bothers me a lot, is they go into like the 3rd round and they draft as almost if like they won the Super Bowl already. And they just kind of throw around picks to like running backs or positions that you're like, why would you draft that position when you have a huge need at offensive tackle? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you've noticed that too, that sometimes they draft a little bit willy-nilly, and it's a little bit, like, for instance, we drafted a kicker. That's like a luxury pick. Why would you do it?
I never understood that. Hey, he made his field goals against the Ravens. Hey, what to do?
Yep. He said, not only left tackle, you're out of the best left tackle in the game. 100%. 100%.
What up, hey, Peter Parker? Shout out to him.
I love his name. He's got the best name ever.
Yeah. I want to
next to Depressed Niners fan.
Depressed Niners fan. That's a good name. Yeah. I was going to say, really quick, I want to talk about the offensive side of the ball in this upcoming game.
Okay.
And yeah, sure. I mean, but I'm definitely for the offensive line. I think we should draft at least 3 offensive linemen in this upcoming draft, if you ask me. And if we draft 2 tackles, so be it. But we have this thing with I'm not the biggest stats guy, but we could make a dent into some 49er history with this with these upcoming next 2 games. If we might have 3 1,000-yard receivers or pass catchers on this team. Kittle's a tight end, but he's a pass catcher. He's kind of like a pseudo receiver. Kittle is already I believe Kittle and Ayuk already have their 1,000 yards. We just need to get Debo 1,000 yards, and Debo is about he has 834 yards now, like about not too far away from 1,000. In these next 2 games.
Yeah, this would make it even more disappointing if they don't win this year, as of just how prolific their offense has been.
Mm-hmm.
You could say what you want. You could say what you want about. Forgot what I was going to say. Totally forgot what I was going to say.
About.
Go ahead.
I think you're saying that we're setting record. We're making history with this Niner team. And
you could say what you want about Purdy and how he played in the last game, and maybe he's not elite, this, that, and the other. He's been in charge of this ridiculous offensive juggernaut all year. And the Niners haven't had, I think, an offense like this. I can't even remember when. 94 maybe? I think this is a better offense than 94.
94 was the last big time explosive offense we had compared to this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice, John Taylor. John Taylor was aging. Brent Jones wasn't exactly young. Ricky Waters was a couple years into his career. Floyd was a rookie. The Niners had a pretty porous offensive line the last time they won a Super Bowl, kind of like this year. So it makes sense if they did win it. Yeah, you can say what you want about Purdy and all that stuff, but the fact of the matter is that this is one of the best offenses in the NFL. even with all his bad play in the last game, he still ranks really high in a lot of statistical categories.
Oh, he's still up there in all
So
those categories.
yeah. Hey, Peter Parker says, I don't trust John and Kyle with first round pick with 12 picks. Let Adam Peters cook. Yeah, I'm all about Adam Peters too, brother. John Lynch is a great face. He's a politician. You put him in front of a microphone, he'll say all the right things. He's a good looking guy. He looks good in his suit.
TV
Same thing with
guy.
Adam Peters. Yeah,
He's got
that's
TV
what you use
experience.
him for. That's as far as who I think makes all the moves. I still think it's Adam Peters.
I'd love to
but
see Adam Peters man the whole draft because we have a full draft this year, top to bottom. I hate to talk about the draft this early, but we got picks all across the board. So
my neighbor
have
friend
him man
from
the
a long
draft.
time ago, from my old neighborhood Stonewood, he says, "Yo, Aaron, your boy Steve, what is up?" Steve is him and his brother, both really tall guys, by the way. I think his brother's like
cool.
6'8". He's like 6'5".
That's
You guys
crazy.
are giants.
Wish I was 6'8". That would be sick.
I was taller than both of them at one point in my life, but that is since
Don't
went
you
by the
hate
wayside.
that when you're taller than somebody and then like you haven't seen them since high school, and then
Right.
after high school you run across them and they're taller than you?
I was
It happened
taller
to
than
me a
his
couple
oldest
times.
brother many years ago, and then all of a sudden it was like early 2000s. He just is like 6'8". I'm just like, wait, what? And he's skateboarding too, which is funny.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Hey, back to
Well, it's
Debo.
not funny. It looks scary because he's so tall. But yeah, thank you, Steve, for coming through. I appreciate it very much.
I want to go back to the receivers on our team.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Brandon Ayuk already eclipsed 1,000 yards, 1,203. Ayuk, I messed up. He's 9 yards short of 1,000 yards.
Okay.
Him and Ayuk respectively have 6 TDs. Debo Samuel is 166 yards away from 1,000 yards. He also has 6 touchdowns, but he has a lot of rushing touchdowns as well. Combined, Debo has 11 touchdowns on rushing and receiving. CMC 537 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns receiving, 14 touchdowns running. So he's already got 21 touchdowns. So that's
you say running. Running. Sorry.
What song were you thinking of?
No, I was thinking of Forrest Gump when you said he has however many touchdowns running.
I hope I didn't sound like Forrest Gump. That'd be pretty sad.
No, that was me.
That's
the Sentinel Football Channel says we could always put John Lynch at safety if
yeah.
If we, I bet you he plays it.
Lynch.
I bet you he play even now. He could probably lay a couple hits on people. I probably heard him, but yeah.
Shout out to how about the Niners, because he's mentioned some of the guys that I saw in my mock drafts that I was doing. The one name that stands as Suamatea, if I'm saying that right, is I've been mocking Mims, Kingsley, Suamatea in the first, and Van Pratt in the second round, and of course Brendan Wright in the third. And we have a couple thirds this year. Yeah, I want to get Brendan Rice on this Niner team. Jerry Rice's son. From USC. He's good. I mean, he's not ranked as like the top wide receiver this draft. I think he'll be a sleeper kind of good wide receiver. And Frank Gore Jr. I want to draft both these guys.
Niner fans got to chill out with this because
I want that pedigree on the team, dude.
I want the pedigree too, but you can't do it and pass over someone else who's way more deserving or is a better player.
Brandon Rice is definitely third round good. If we can get Brandon Rice in the third round, that's going to be some good value.
I mean, Joe Montana's sons both sucked.
Oh yeah, screw Joe Montana's sons. I mean, they were.
Joe turned out to be a real turd monkey when he got into being a dad and a coach or whatever he was doing. He used to be my favorite player, and now I really don't like him all that much.
Yeah, he's never known for being a great guy off the field. That's just what he is. We had so we did have a tryout for one of the Montana sons. It might have been for both, but I know one of Montana's. Both of them played college football. I think Nate, the first one who we held the tryout for. Yeah, and those guys were not that good.
No, like Jordan's sons both sucked at basketball.
Oh yeah, I was hyped up to see what Jordan's sons would do. Michael Jordan's sons would do. I used to look them up and like, what are they going to do?
You can't teach hunger to people.
What was on the Indiana? Well, he's not going to have any hunger. They're not going to have any hunger if their dad was a damn freaking multimillionaire. I mean,
right? Exactly. Listen, I know a couple kids who were friends of my family growing up, and they were the cutest babies ever. As adult kids, they are the laziest, most unmotivated, horrible attitude because they grew up with parents that had a lot of money. It ain't their money, but they still grew up around it. So that hunger to like want to be great or go get something and prove your worth, it's not there. And I think a lot of these quarterback or a lot of these players who have legacy parents unless you come from like a really bad upbringing, say something like Marshawn Lynch had to deal with, your whole thing is to get out of the hood and get out of where you are and make something of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
It's
yeah,
it's different with these kids that grow up rich and have a multi-billion-dollar father. You know, crazy.
yeah, I got you. It's tough. It's tough to make it big if your dad already made it really, really big. It's very rare that those guys step in. Okay, how about the Niners? They both are really good. Brendan Rice is a good returner too. Yes, I've seen him even when he was at Colorado. He was a good returner. And Frank Gore Jr. They run like he runs like his dad. Has reliable hands and can pass. Can catch a pretty ball too. Oh, they can pass. Frank Gore Jr. Can throw it too. Is that what you're saying? I know he might have some hands, but I haven't watched Frank Gore Jr. as much as I've watched Brendan Rice. But a lot of people who
Looks a
watch Frank Gore
lot
Jr.
like his dad.
Kind of looks like him, but he's got his hair grown out a lot more though.
Frank Gore was one of my favorite 49er players ever. Me and my nephew used to always make fun of him because he never wore a cup. It's like, bro,
maybe that was his secret for being so good. I don't know.
Yeah, dangle dogging while you're playing. Yeah, that's a great secret. Anything else before we move on to another topic?
Oh, there's so many things that we touched on, and it's like crazy.
We did.
Yeah,
we have hit on a lot.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Debo. Let's talk about the Debo and Cam drama. Me and Raj hit on this the other night. I wanted to get your opinion on it.
It's funny. It's funny.
I find it funny that Debo got catfished by someone claiming to be Cam Newton. But I still find it funny that Cam Newton is heaping praise on Purdy just a couple weeks ago and now wants to dog him and jump online or jump on the train with other people that want to dog him and kind of take away whatever he's done and saying he's just a game manager. Any thoughts on any of that?
Yeah, I don't know what Cam's story is. I just wish he'd shut up and just stay out of it. I mean, if he won a Super Bowl or won Super Bowls, I guess he'd have the right to talk. But I mean, he was good. He was pretty good at one point, but his overall body of work, and he had for about half of his career, he wasn't good. So it is what it is. But it was just so funny seeing that text back and forth because I thought it was Cam Newton texting Debo when I don't know, did Debo put out those screenshots or did those kids put out those screenshots?
I think Debo put them out.
Okay, but it was just so funny because I think right off the bat the dude was like, "Fuck you, Debo," or something. I just thought it was so funny. I was like, and I fell for it too. I was like, what's this all about?
So was I. So did I. I thought it was like, oh, this is good. I can't wait for this. And it turns out it wasn't even him.
I don't know. I still don't get how they got his phone number like that. They even called him and they made a video of them calling Debo and Debo answered, and that was nuts.
That is weird. That is so weird.
What's up, John Dodson? Yeah.
Even though we haven't played the Rams, they are the last team on our schedule. I wanted to get a sneak peek before we talk about the Commanders. I wanted to get a sneak peek on your thoughts about the Rams and how much they scare you, or are you not scared of the Rams? Because I find them to be a big speed bump in the way of getting that number 1 seed. It's not going to be a cakewalk that game, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Well, the first thought I'm going to touch on is I think we had a Freudian slip here because it sounded like you said sneak pizza in the beginning.
Sneak pizza?
It sounded like you said sneak. Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't say I'm scared of the Rams, but I definitely don't want this team to be cocky and act like, oh yeah, we're going to play the same old sorry ass Rams, Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha! You wish we lose. I don't want them to be. I don't want them to be like that. But the Rams again. They're our division rival, right? It's never necessarily going to be a cakewalk. Sure, there are those games that we do stomp them, and they do look like the same old Cyrus Rams or whatever. But let's see. I mean, I'm just going to pull it up what they're doing this year because I'm a little curious. I stopped following them at one point, but I know they've been on a bit of a win streak as of late, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, Matthew Stafford's been pretty efficient. 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's not having a monster year, but he's having a pretty decent season, considering the fact that he did miss a couple of games. And that Puka Nacua guy ate us alive, and he's been tearing up the league. 13, he's got more yards than Brandon Ayuk, 1,327 yards. I guess I was like, and he was one of the guys I wanted us to draft too, because I did all kinds of mock drafts. And now when they drafted him, I wasn't crying over spilled milk. I just thought he'd be a functional wide receiver early on, but I didn't think he'd tear up the league either. Right off the bat. I'm not going to be one of those guys that said, oh, yeah, I knew Puka Nacua was going to dominate right off the bat. I'm not one of those guys, no. But he's putting up better numbers than free. Well, Cooper Kupp is 4 games so far, but Cooper Kupp's still pretty good. 710 yards, Tutu Atwell. He's not a bad rookie, 476 yards. So and Tyler Higbee's not too bad either. So they've got, our secondary is going to have to work against that team.
Sentinel says it best. He says they need to take the Rams as seriously as a heart attack. Nakua and Kupp is going to kill our secondary if we can't get to Stafford. Yeah, to me,
their running back is
doing really good too.
Yeah,
yep,
1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. So we'll definitely not take them lightly.
Props to their front office with being left with nothing really to draft and making good on some late round selections. Peo Time, our Rams, our resident Rams YouTuber. He's one of there's other ones out there, but he's the coolest out of them all.
Or there's that guy in the chat that puts you're the VHS team or whatever. Crap.
No, there's that one. I know there's another Rams guy too, but Peo's just really cool because he's a down to earth guy.
Peo's hella cool.
He made a point to talk about some of the late round draft picks this year when we were talking, and I told him, I was like, most 49er fans are not going to know who the hell you guys drafted. We're all going to say you didn't get anybody. Nobody you drafted is any good because we're not invested into your team like you are. And he knows a lot more. And can't say that he saw it coming, but he did make a point to talk about some of the late round guys that they made a move on and how they're slowly kind of turning into something. So props to the Rams. I don't think they're going to be down long. I think next year they're going to pop right back up with a good draft and stuff. So the Niners, like I said, they got to take advantage of it this year. If you ask me, because I think the NFC West is going to return. Well, I can't say return to form. I think Seattle's going to still not be that great. And I still think the Cardinals are going to suck for a bit, but we'll see. I know I'm kind of
I remember Rams content creator said something big time that was homerish, and he's like, oh, the Rams are going to win the division. They're going to be way better than the Niners because we're going to hit on all these draft picks. All the guys that we drafted this year are going to be studs. And he says it was like a real homerish take. But the only guy in the draft I think that really, really jumps out at me is Puka. Puka's pretty damn good, dude.
Puka Nacua is really good. He killed us the first time we played them.
And then we backed off of him. Like we gave him the biggest cushions, and that was the game when we had Oliver. That was back when we had Oliver.
Isaiah Oliver got cooked in that game. Yeah.
He was getting cooked so damn much. Even in games we were winning, he was getting cooked.
Every time they put him on the field, they go immediately to him. Like they throw right on him. He's that bad.
He should just be a box safety type of guy. He's tackles well. He's built. I'm waiting for Randy Daytona to hop in the chat and tell us lay off of him because he's good. Because he usually does that once we start talking about Isaiah Oliver. But ever since we made that secondary change, secondaries look a lot better. And coincidentally, it was the same time when Steve Wilkes went to the sideline. Coincidentally, the same time when Chase Young was acquired. So I'm for it, for that secondary switch, and hopefully we look a lot better playing against this Rams team. But again, division rival, just for the simple fact that they're a division rival, we should never take those teams lightly because they just know how to play us better than the average team. And we have to win out. We have to look good.
Yep.
And be going into this playoff run, and hopefully we do have a first round bye. Hopefully we do.
Well, we'll be going. One thing I know is we'll be going against Sam Howell after all tomorrow, because
Sam Howell,
because of the injury to Jacoby Brissett. I thought it was gamesmanship. I thought they were playing some sort of gamesmanship game, like, oh, we're not going to let you know who's playing quarterback. But I mean, again, this is another thing that should go in the Niners' favor. I think he's thrown a pretty good amount of interceptions this year. So the 49ers are getting a lot of reasons to win this game, and they cannot go into this game and just, they got to take this one. They have this team is hurting. This Commanders team is not that good at all. So, this is a game you have to have. They say you beat who's on your schedule and you beat the bad teams. Well, this is a bad team. So
Ayuk and Debo should cook. They don't have anybody in that secondary.
Yeah, I don't want to see any struggles on offense. The Niners this is a good game to get good and get right on. I don't know if you agree.
I definitely agree. But I did think it was funny though, because Sam Howell, there's somebody that my friend knows that was hyping up Sam Howell and say that we should have drafted him. Blah 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 blah. And he throws so many damn picks. He throws for yards, but he's just careless with the football. And then he got benched. I was telling my friend, Sam Howell got benched. And and lo and behold, Jacoby Brissett was supposed to play, and they benched, was playing because they benched Sam Howell, and now he got hurt or whatever. Now Howell's back to playing again. So it's like, whatever. Bring it on. Bring on whoever you have at quarterback, and let's just do this. Let's just annihilate this team on the road and gear up for the Rams.
Yep. Yeah. This game, you don't want to say that anything is a foregone conclusion. You don't want to say that it's a matter of, 100% guarantee that we're going to go in there but they got to beat these guys. Like, they're that bad. The Niners are so much head and shoulders, even with all the injuries we have. As much as we are hurt right now, all the injuries we have, we're still head and shoulders better than the Commanders. So this has to be one of those games where in the fourth quarter, we're taking people out and we're resting people for, the final game against the Rams. Now, we talked about this before. I'll bring it up again to those of you who just joined. If the 49ers win tomorrow and the Lions and the Lions lose and the Eagles lose tomorrow. Is it Lion Eagles or Lions Cowboys? I forget. Because the Lions are playing the Cowboys. So I think it's the Lions have to
beat the Cowboys. We have to root for the Lions is what we're doing.
No, I think we have to root for the Cowboys.
My friend, I don't know. I was just talking to my friend before I got on with you. Unless somebody in the chat can explain it to us better. That's what my thinking
Somebody
was.
said we had to root for the Cowboys. I saw it yesterday that we had to root for them. Because I think the Cowboys, the Lions have the better record. They're at 10-4 right now. Or 11-4. Somebody in the chat help us. Come on, people.
Somebody in the chat help us. Yeah. I'm stuck here. And this is really, really random, but somebody in the chat can help us. That'd be great. I was saying that I read across some video. I'm not sure if you saw it, but that stupid agent for Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito, whatever.
You send me that, and I'm just like, I'm not even going to watch this because the guy, it looks like an absolute toolbox.
I don't know what his name is, but he was just going on and on about why he wears a fedora and how he's a big Frank Sinatra guy and how he's an old soul and how he's from the wrong generation or whatever. I don't even know what his name is. I forgot what this agent's name is. Oh, Mike. Hang on. I don't know. I give him that guy way too much credit. I just thought he looked really funny. Yeah, he's Italian. Oh, Avatar Singh is up in the chat. He said, "Hello guys, it's a get right game. Hopefully no injuries." Yeah. Health is wealth. I hate it when we have those victories that come at a price, and we lose somebody. It really sucks. Okay, yeah. If the Lions lose, it helps us clinch. Okay, so we do have to root for the Cowboys. Okay. I'd rather root for the Lions than root for the Cowboys, but it looks like we have no choice.
So I think we have to root for the Cowboys to win, and we have to root for the Eagles to lose to the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, that's it.
But regardless, if both those teams just win out all season long and we win out, we're still the number one seed. So
yes, because we have the tiebreakers, and I think we have the better conference record too so far. We still got 2 games. We still got to get on it. There's 2 NFC teams to finish the year. We got to take care of business, man. I mean, in a way, I don't know, because I wanted to ask you this, and then I want to transition back into what we're talking about. Do you think last week's game was a blessing in disguise? I know you were talking earlier about, not winning, having to win out and win that many games in a row would be really difficult. Do you think it's a blessing in disguise to kind of recenter these guys? Because, if you were reading some of the post-game chats on YouTube or on Twitter, people were saying, I don't want to hear people say that, we needed to be humbled. Just admit that you got your ass kicked. And I'm kind of more in that line. I don't want to say we got humbled. We just got our ass kicked. We played a team that was better than us that day. We might be more talented than them, but they were just better that day. And they kicked our ass. But that being said, that game really puts the onus on the 49ers to take these next 2 games seriously. However, if you listen to what Fred Warner's saying, Fred Warner says the number 1 seed, he doesn't care about it, because if you're not going into the playoffs playing good football and you can get eliminated in the first divisional round, then it all doesn't mean anything. Are you trying to kind of gather my thoughts to try to make a point here? Do you think it was good that they lost to kind of refocus them? And do you think that the home field advantage is important, or are you with the mindset of like Fred Warner, where it's kind of like, if you're not going in playing good, then it doesn't matter?
Yeah. Okay. So the 49ers are undefeated at Levi's in their short run of a stadium. So in playoff history, that is, in their playoff game. So I think it does help to play a playoff game in the 49ers Levi's Stadium. I sure definitely think that's definitely an advantage now. Yeah, I said this so many times. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I just think that the 49ers and many other football teams that go on Super Bowl runs do have to hit the reset button. Not sure why they have to do it, but just teams now it's a 17 game season, right? It used to be a 16 game season. Hit the reset button, get a loss out of the way in December, just like other Super Bowl teams have all throughout the years. If you go back and pull up the most recent, 5 Super Bowl winners over the past 8 to 10 years, you'll see most of them pretty much lost in December. The one team I mentioned earlier is that the Patriots went on a pretty long win streak, dating back from early November. Our last win, when we started off our win streak, was November 12th, right? So November 12th to February 11th, it just doesn't sound like it makes sense to win all those games out. So it sucks we did it in the fashion that we did it. We lost against the Ravens. I mean, who would you rather lose to, the Ravens or the Commanders? I mean, we lost to the Commanders. Be like, oh, you guys are garbage. You guys lost to Sam Howell and the Commanders. We lose to the Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Hey, we turned the ball over to them. God knows how many times. We had over 100 yards in penalties. I don't want to say that to take anything away from them playing well. They did play. They played very, very well. But we did put up yards against them. And Debo,
the Niners had over 200 yards of offense before halftime. And if you listen to, oh God, what's his name? He does the NFL matchup show every week. Greg Cosell was saying the Niners were on pace to be over 500 yards of offense. The Niners were moving the ball. It's just that Purdy kept throwing the ball to the other team.
We shot ourselves in the foot so many times. The ball bounced every which way but ours. Kittle was balling. Ayuk probably had the quietest 100 yards I've ever seen. He had about 113 yards, but both of them were not targeted heavily, but they made the most of their opportunities and they were putting up great yardage. And Debo was targeted heavily and he didn't necessarily pan out. So if anybody needs to step up and ball out from here on out, it is Debo. And maybe
Sam Howell is starting. He was supposed to not start. It was supposed to be Jacoby. Jacoby got hurt in practice. So Avatar Singh, he is back starting.
I've been hearing it Sam Howell.
I didn't realize this.
Which is funny because he got benched for sucking.
I didn't realize this. He says Rams might not play their starters if they beat the Giants and secure the 6th or 7th seed this weekend. I did not know that.
That means so if the Rams play this upcoming game, that we may play their backups and they may rest against us. He's saying,
and then that's 2 weeks in a row where you're getting gift wrap.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. I'd love to have a game. I'd love to have a game in the last week of the season where the second half we could just rest Brock, and have freaking Sam Darnold out there.
Right. He says the Lions are going to smack the Cowboys. I don't know. It's weird. The Cowboys.
I don't know.
The Lions. I think that I don't know what's going to happen. I think Cowboys have a chance of winning that game. They're at home. They're a bad road team, but they're a really good home team, the Cowboys. So, I know you might be right on that one, but we want to pray that it's the Cowboys. If we want to get that seed taken care of this week, you have to hope the Lions drop the game to the Cowboys, and we got to hope that the Eagles lose, and we win, and then we would be essentially all ready to go. Dude, with the amount of injuries this team has, though, Bashar, us getting a rest of like 4 weeks or 3 weeks would probably. I know it's not bad. I know it's bad for being sharp and like going into the playoffs,
momentum and all that. Yeah,
but man, they're hurt. And remember how hurt they were and how beat up they were, and then we came off that bye against Jacksonville. We looked amazing in that game.
We did.
Defense, offense, everything was humming because the Niners were just so healthy and so they were just. I mean, the hits were crisp. Just everything was great. So rest versus rust. I'm going to have to learn.
Did you make that up on the fly? Did you make that up on the fly? Or have you heard that before?
I think I've heard it before, but I might have also made it up.
Okay. That was really good.
You like that, guys? I told people earlier in the season, and I was called a bunch of prerogatives.
Are you making up your own word? Is that something?
For slamming the table and getting the number 1 seed.
Pejoratives.
See how important that extra week is now.
A
haters.
word expressing contempt or disapproval. Pejorative.
That's a really good. You know what? I'm a big word guy, Sentinel.
Yeah,
and I've never heard of that before. So
I know.
props to you.
I watch Jeopardy all the time and everything, and yeah, you learn
I like
something new every
using
day.
big words sometimes to make because I'm not really that smart. So I like to do it in order to make myself feel smart, just to be people would. If I can make a smart person question their own intelligence, that's all I want. So thank you for making me question mine. Trying to think what else we could talk about here.
Oh, there's a whole bunch to talk about.
What about the Niners' inability to tackle? What the hell's going on with this team with the tackling?
They need to start wrapping up. Yeah, yeah, they need to start wrapping up. I mean, it's pissing me off. I mean, even in the game that we lost, it's that we won to the Cardinals. That one running back, DeMercado, who I've never seen before, freaking runs through the middle of the field, and like 2 or 3 guys should have brought this guy down, and they're just letting him run wild. And
Fred Warner is responsible for a lot of those too.
I love Fred Warner, and he's getting a lot of really, really high ratings on whatever websites that rank these players. And I love the guy, but I just need him to play as good as the rankings show. I'm sorry. Sorry if I offended anybody for saying that, but I need him to step up.
Yeah, I think the whole defense as a whole needs to be better at tackling. You know, as much as it sucks for Jair Brown to be out, he was a huge proponent of missed tackles. Like he just coming in 100 miles an hour and completely missing guys, shooting past people. Like, come on, you know, we last year and in the years prior, this defense was lauded for being a great tackling, you know, making their way to the ball, wrapping up, gang tackling. And there's been a lot of just like, I don't know if people don't want to, they're afraid to hit or they're trying to save their body. There's a lot of like going for the knockout and not getting the wrap up or completely just hugging a guy and just having your body slide down him and having him walk out of the tackle. I don't know what it is. I'll tell you what part of it is too, is the defensive line has not been as great in the interior. So the linebackers are really taking a lot of abuse of having to take on, you know, second level, offensive linemen getting to the second level. So yeah, the one thing that's really gotten to me, and I was staying pretty calm during the game last week, but I was getting really pissed off at the business tackles. I was freaking out on Fred Warner and other people. Like this isn't the level of 49er defense that I'm accustomed to. This Niners defense definitely isn't as good as it's been in the past. I think they've taken a couple steps back this year, from injuries to scheme to I don't know. I think the offense in a way a lot this year has shined more brightly. Sentinel took the words right out of my mouth. He said Kinlaw is such a disappointment. Based on his size alone, he should be batting balls down at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he gets pushed off his blocks with ease.
Well, you got to remember, Kinlaw's probably good 30 pounds lighter than he was when we drafted him because we made him lose weight because his knees couldn't take the
and he was already getting moved off the ball before that. Now you're going to take 30 pounds off of that, and now he's literally like he just gets washed out of plays consistently. It's yeah. This is I mean, you go into the draft. You want to go into the draft this coming year. If there's 2 places you want to focus on, is interior defensive line and offensive line. Yeah. I don't know if you disagree.
We're still 3rd in the league in terms of giving up the least points, which is fine. But we could have done a lot better just if we fixed a few things and if our D tackles would have been healthy. In the majority of our games, I mean, that would have helped our defense a whole lot. I mean, Hargrave missing games and Armstead missing games doesn't help this defense at all. Like you mentioned, the D tackles. Then we lost Khalil Davis, who I was excited to see when he played his first game against the Eagles. And Kinlaw, he's had a few sacks here and there, which is cool because he was a guy who would never get to the quarterback, but he's not that run stuffer guy. That's why the Sebastian Joseph Day signing is so underrated, in my opinion. I think he'll be out there a lot more than you guys think. I think he'll make his.
Don't be surprised if Sebastian Joseph Day sneakily makes his way into the starting lineup,
and has a day.
And has a day, yeah. Boom.
Has himself
because the guys that are there now, minus Hargrave, because Hargrave's been hurt, have played pretty bad, especially against the run, and they haven't really done anything against the pass either. So, remember when Gregory came to the team, and we were talking about how Gregory. You know, how much would he play Drake Jackson? Where's Drake Jackson? He's non-existent. He's gone, right?
IR.
Injured reserve.
Remember, I made a joke at one point earlier in the season. It was before we even picked up Chase Young. It might have been around the time that we picked up Gray, though, the Randy Gregory.
Right.
I jokingly said to you, "Oh, that'd be kind of funny if the 3 sacks that Drake Jackson had in week 1 are his only sacks of the season." And I didn't want to be mean, but then we ended up getting Chase Young, and then soon after, boom, Drake Jackson hops on the IR. And yeah, those only 3 sacks were from week 1. That was it.
And that was it.
I'm sorry, Drake Jackson.
Sorry, Drake Jackson. Ooh, you're not for real.
I can't do the ooh part.
You're really bad and you suck at what you do. If I had to say something about you, is you're really poo or something. I don't know.
You know what just popped in my head? I was just thinking about sucking, how Purdy didn't have a good game, but weren't you saying that somebody was on Twitter talking about Purdy throwing 4 picks and he's
okay? You got oh my god comments. There's some stupid people on Twitter. Okay, so I won't tell you who the content creator is because I don't want him to get mad because I'm not really dogging him. I'm dogging his people that were commenting.
Somebody who commented on his thread. That's all.
So he made a comment about Brock Purdy and he was kind of critical of him. And then one of the people in his comments said, well, if Trey Lance was playing, he wouldn't have thrown 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we still
because Trey Lance would have been on the sidelines holding the
he would have been on the we still have people in this fan base who cannot get over the fact that Trey Lance is no longer part of the team. That they're going to dog Purdy for throwing 4 picks when he's had one of the best statistical seasons a 49er quarterback has ever had, just because they can't get over the fact that that dude is sitting on the sideline in Dallas and may never turn out to be nothing but a bust. Really? That's what we're doing? Man, it's just
I don't know. There's some stupid Niner fans that don't want to accept the fact that there's a really, really good shot that we found our next franchise quarterback. And we should all just sit back and enjoy the ride. But instead, it's like, no, I want to play favorites. They didn't keep the quarterback that I wanted. And that was mean. Like, come on, guys. Let's get real here, folks. I mean, if he was as good as who you're saying he is, then he would have gotten on the field some way, somehow this season with Dallas.
Recency bias is one of the biggest things in sports because you can have people talking about how great Purdy is on these sports shows. And then all of a sudden he has a game like the other day. And then they'll say, well, has Purdy been figured out? Like they just went on this huge diatribe about how great he is. Then he has one bad game. Montana threw 4 interceptions in a game in 1984, if I'm not correct.
Dude, somebody sent me this screenshot of Tom Brady's freaking bad games throughout his career. It's like he's had a lot of games where he's thrown 0 touchdowns, 3 picks, 0 touchdowns, 4 picks. And this is like arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. I'd say he is the greatest quarterback of all time. He has the most, if you're a Montana fan, you can love and hold on to Montana as much as you want. But if the guy's won more Super Bowls than Montana, 2 more, and put up way more stats, way more touchdowns, way more yards, just it is what it is. But yeah, he's got, I mean, if I could pull it up on my phone in just a second, he just has Brady. I don't want to compare him to Purdy and say he's the next Brady or any crap like that. No, I'm not doing that. But I'm talking, geez, man, I'm looking at this. A lot of games with 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I mean, every now and then you're going to have a shitty bad game. The ball's going to bounce funny. Your throws aren't the balls.
Not every team can play the defense like the Ravens did.
Oh, the Ravens.
The blueprint.
They did a good job.
You have to have the players to play that blueprint.
The Ravens did a really, really nice job, but we still put up yards. Again, I'm not one for moral victories, but we still found a way to put up yards. We just were stupid with penalties and turnovers. That's what it was.
Let's do a little bit of prediction for the game here.
Prediction time.
Little score. I mean, it's Saturday. The game's tomorrow at 1:00, nice and early.
Yes, sir. Yep. I got to set my alarm. I'm probably going to set about 4 alarms on my phone to make sure that I wake up. I do wake up around that time from time to time, but a lot of times when I get up on the weekend at those times, I got a big headache and I don't feel like getting out of bed. It's kind of one of those type of deals. So I'll probably set my alarm to like a half an hour before kickoff and just to make sure I'm bright and ready for this game.
Yeah, it's going to be nice and 1:00 for me. And it'd be nice that they win and I can kind of relax the rest of the day and watch some other ball, watch other teams, to keep track of the teams that we need to lose. It's also nice. Like that's almost like a second victory of the day when you watch teams that are helping your playoff push and they lose. It's like, all right, and then you watch your game and you win too. It's good stuff. Um, I'm gonna put up his comment because I really enjoy his comments. He says, "You know how I know it wasn't just mismanagement of play calling and missed tackles that got us because we all point the fingers at people on the team instead of accepting we got beat by a better one." Yeah, I mean, I just straight up thought that the Ravens kicked our ass and that was it. And I was pretty critical. I was pretty disappointed in Purdy after the game. I really was. And I'm a big proponent of the guy. I'm a big Purdy fan, and I've always argued for him. But he played his and people could say, oh, he only threw, 2 of them were this, and they're still on his stat line. He still has 4 picks. So you're 100% right. I thought the defense was just very clampy. They didn't, from what some of the people that watched the film, they said that they didn't give in to any of the motions or of the smoke screen stuff, that they just stayed disciplined in their assignments, and that the Niners were left kind of really trying to get guys open, and guys weren't getting open. And if you noticed a lot of those picks, guys were draped all over players. So that's a good point. Sometimes you got to give it up to the other team instead of trying to find scenarios and reasons and conspiracies of why a team kicked your ass. So
we got out coached at times too, and there were times early on in the game where I'm watching and like we were moving the ball, but I'm like, why are we not mixing in the run game? We were so one-dimensional.
The run game, that is every time we lose a game, we always consider, or we always critique Kyle for not running the ball a lot.
And McCaffrey averaged like 7.5 yards a carry. He had over 100 yards. Like, if we stressed the run a bit more, I think it would have been a lot easier on Purdy, but it is what it is. We can't go back in time and fix it. So,
according to Jupiter, Purdy's did his best, and he's still number 1 there.
Purdy's an awesome, just class act of a human being.
He took all. If you listen to him at the podium, that dude is so mature for his age. He's 24, going on 50. Like he talks. He just turned
24. He just turned 24.
He's a really, really mature guy. A lot of people that are fans of this team claim to be fans of this team. But yet, I've been wishing for this man's downfall all year. You're pretty pathetic.
We can go and re-sign Jimmy G or Nick Mullins. I mean, will that make you feel better? I mean,
no, it's just people. It's
their no. But yet we can bring in Trey Lance, their hero. And we'll see how well we fare.
The guy who can't even complete passes against guys that'll be, delivering UPS packages, and he's going to come in and be our savior. I mean, come on, people, cut it out.
Yeah.
All right, so score prediction for tomorrow.
Score. I have 35-13 49ers. So we still have the 5th best passer rating in the NFL for our secondary. I think we're going to make life tough for Sam Howell. The guy just throws a lot of picks. He does throw for yards, but he throws a lot of picks. I think Debo's going to look to bounce back. Chase Young, first game against the Washington Commanders,
his old team,
is very, very, very critical. I think he's going to get about 2 sacks. I'm going to predict, because I already threw this out there last night, I'm saying 2 touchdowns for Kittle, but, and I emphasize but, I'm going to, on the defensive side, we're going to get a pick 6 from Diamador Lenore.
Nice. I'm going to go 49ers 45, Commanders 17.
Damn.
I think Purdy comes out and throws 4 touchdowns. And then
I hope he does.
And then Christian McCaffrey gets the rest.
Yeah.
This is going to be a Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel heavy game. And I think the 49ers just show their dominance. It's going to start slow, though. We're going to be a little bit worried because the Niners are going to come out slow. But I think in the end, they're going to win 45-17. They're going to score a lot of points. And I just think the Niners are going to get back on track, which they need to. Sentinel has 42-18. It's pretty good. It's about close to my score.
I believe Purdy can break the record for most yards thrown by a 49er quarterback.
Yeah, he's really close.
Possibly most touchdowns, too. He's on the cups of breaking some records. So hopefully,
as great as Montana was and young, they didn't throw a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah, well, the era did change. Things did change, but in the '94 season, that was probably Steve Young's best season. The year we won it all.
You want to look at a guy who's a Hall of Famer who has some of the most pedestrian statistics is Troy Aikman.
Oh my god.
Troy Aikman's
Does he?
statistics are horrible.
Oh, keep in mind, me and my friends have been saying this. My big time Niner fan friends, you guys know who you are if you're watching. We've been saying this way back in 2008. It's like for years I was like, oh wow, Troy Aikman, he's so good, he's so good, he's so good. But I never bothered to look up his whole body of work in terms of his stat lines. And I noticed at the end of his career he was doing a lot worse statistically, but I gave him a pass because like, okay, well, these are his final years, no big deal. He's done a whole lot for this league. But when I went back and looked up his body of work, I was like, wait, this guy's stat line is not that impressive. He had an amazing offensive line, by the way, which made life so easy for him. He had a running back who ran through holes that were so damn big, and he had guys that could make plays for him. If there's anybody in the system who looked like a system guy, it was him. But at the end of the day, he did win a Super Bowl, so
yeah, they won 3. He played really well in the first one against the Bills. I think it was like 50 something to 17. The problem with him is they had that really big offensive line, and he was really protected by it. And also, I mean, he had arguably one of the greatest running backs of all time in Emmitt Smith. So, but if you look at his statistics, just based on statistics, he's like a game manager. You know, we always talk about game managers. Well, if he can win a Super Bowl, why can't Brock? You know, if you want to call Brock a game manager, then you know, I guess he's a Hall of Famer then, because Troy Aikman could do it.
Troy Aikman was stepping up for Brock too on the announcing team for the game. He was defending him a lot.
To say that this isn't a Brock-like performance. He really,
you know, but in general, like right before the game was starting, he was just saying that he's not a system guy. This guy's really good, and you can't make excuses for him about being good because about whatever system he's in or whatever players he has. Like, he's a legit good quarterback. That's pretty much what he was saying. Unfortunately, he laid an egg that night.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, he played his worst game of his career, which sucks. But anything else you want to hit on before we get out of here?
Anything else I want to hit on? Sure, I wish I had written up a bunch of stuff in my notes that were off-topic type things to talk about. I didn't. I just kind of stuck to the game with my notes. Usually I do.
What's going on with food tomorrow? What are we eating?
Food. What are we eating tomorrow?
Any kebabs? What are we doing here? Making pizza? You haven't made pizza in a long time.
No, I need to buy some new pizza dough. That's why I haven't made pizza in a long time. And when I say pizza dough, no, I don't necessarily buy pizza dough. I buy pizza flour, and it's not your standard pizza flour that they sell.
Caputo, right?
Well, Caputo is really good. I don't know if you ever seen it in the stores or not.
Yeah. Double zero.
Okay, yes, yeah. So there is a version of Caputo that they do sell in the stores, but there's another version that they make that's kind of made for like New York style pizza, and that the one they don't sell in the stores. You got to go, unless you go to an Italian specialty store, you have them order it for you. But basically, it's like a 35-pound bag of flour.
Jeez.
It's huge. Yeah. So I ran out, and yeah, it's like I'm just picky about getting certain pizzeria type flour because it's the stuff you can't find in the stores, and it just works out so much better.
Do you still have your starter?
Yeah, I still have my dough starter in my fridge. I have like how long have I had it? Geez, I have like a 6-year-old dough starter that just sits in my fridge, and it's just a fermenting, kind of bubbling sourdough type of starter. You make a new batch of dough, you grab about 3 or 4 tablespoons of that old dough starter, mix it with the new dough, and yeah. He said, here we go. He said, rain or shine, roti for me. So are you talking? If you're talking about Indian type naans and all that, I have. I'm Middle Eastern, so we do. Iraqis make a bread that's very similar to an Indian naan that's cooked in a tandoor, and it's really, really easy to make if you make pizza, because all it basically is just pizza dough without any toppings on it. And if you got a good oven that can cook it pretty good with some good heat, or if I have a pizza oven in the backyard, and that it comes out really nice when I make those. It's very similar to the Indian
tandoori
bread,
chicken, man. It looks
good.
I
love tandoori. Oh, you never had tandoori chicken before?
No, bro. I don't know any.
Tandoori.
I don't have any real. I have like Middle Eastern neighbors, but I don't like. I would have to come
it's Indian, actually. It's Indian, but Indian? It's like
okay.
Indian food's probably. I mean, I love Middle Eastern food, but Indian food might be my favorite food. But tandoori chicken I made at home plenty of times. So
I'm kind of into. I want to get into some Thai food.
Thai food's good. I make something that I make. Well, Thai people make those thick noodles that Chinese people call chow fun, and Thai people call it something else. I make those at home. Made them the other night, actually.
For anybody who's joining late, we are talking about food. We're trying to keep the discussion going. I did want to have. Food. I wanted to open things up to questioning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just if any
And
questions in the
drop
chat,
some score predictions too in the chat so we can read
yeah,
them.
give us some score predictions. If anybody's got a question about tomorrow's game or anything, let me know.
Sentinels
actually,
for
Rick Diaz.
42-18.
49ers got to shine tomorrow all the way to the fourth quarter. Protect the bomb. Yeah, protect the bomb. The ball, whatever. No penalties. Control the line of scrimmage. Stop the run. 100%.
We're so bright that we shine in. We are. There's a name that was mentioned in the chat. He meant Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin.
Tandoori chicken with black
label. With black label. I never had that combo. Definitely had tandoori chicken multiple times, either at home or I get it from a restaurant.
Diaz in Chicago. I got good pizza, one of the best. See, I'm not into Chicago style pizza, my man.
Well, you know what though? A lot of Chicago people aren't fans of deep dish. There's a Chicago tavern pizza out there that's a thinner pizza, and it's kind of like a crackery type crust, and then they cut it up into these squares. It's a round pizza, but they kind of cut it up into square slices. They call it a party pizza. And
I think it was a place called Vito and Nick's or something. It was on Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives.
There's
and it was
a few places, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of super crackery pizza. I like New York style.
I love New York style.
But I also sometimes like a little bit of a thicker. Like if I want to have
Sicilian pizza, that's thick.
Yeah, Sicilian pizza is my more because I want to be full. You know what I mean? I want to be full when I eat. Fired Up 49ers in the house. He says, yo, what's going on, man?
That's one of my
right
good
at the end of the stream. Thank you for coming through. We're just talking about food, tailgating. DJ Gray, thanks for the it's an older hat.
I made some really good New York steaks for Christmas. Yeah, you got me thinking I should try to make something tomorrow for New Year's. I know I didn't make any kebabs. I might you got me thinking maybe I'll just buy. So when I make kebabs, this is what I do. I buy if I don't grind the meat myself, I'll buy ground lamb, and I'll buy it has to be 80-20, right? 80-20 ground lamb, 80-20 ground beef. Or if I get a fattier content, a 70-30, even better. With kebabs, you have to make sure that the meat is very, very sticky. It sticks to the skewers, and I cook it over the charcoal, and it comes out really, really good. I might have to make those if the weather's good tomorrow.
Jupiter got Papa John's.
Or I could just cheat and just order a pizza.
She knows that I love pizza, and she knows that I am a big proponent of Papa John's and the garlic sauce.
A lot of people hate Papa John's when I tell them it's good. I'm
look,
there's categories, there's levels to this. You have your top-notch places that make really good New York pizza. Yeah, but you have your I call it, shout out to Anthony Bourdain, RIP, rest in peace. He calls it stoner food. So if you ever go to a chain and get your little stoner food, Papa John's is a great cheap option that tastes good, to me at least. I love their puffy crust and those garlic toppings, that stuff that gives you a heart attack or whatever. It's really, really good.
Yo, that garlic sauce, dude. I haven't had Papa John's pizza in probably 5 or 6 years. Because they just took them all out of New York for some reason, something to do with paying too high of prices for the franchises or something.
They have good deals, dude. Papa John has good deals, man.
Where Jupiter lives, she gets. Oh man, I'm so jealous of you right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, they have like really good deals. You can get like they advertise really good specials compared to other chains.
I'm gonna have to go down to where she lives and go have some pizza with her.
Yeah, we don't have that many good mom and pop options out where I live, so that's
never mind.
That's why. What's up?
She said she made curry instead.
But what type of curry you making? Because I believe you're.
Oh, she can cook, bro. She can cook.
If I'm not mistaken, I think she's Filipina, or maybe she could be Thai or
Filipino.
Okay. Yeah, I know Asians themselves. I mean, when I say Asians, I mean Southeast Asians.
She made bao buns the other day. She was telling me, and I'm like,
Southeast
I want bao
Asians
buns.
Have a different take on curry compared to the Indian curry that I'm more accustomed to. That I've had, but yeah,
yellow Thai curry.
Thais make a lot of curry. Yeah, they have their own little style. Yep. Mountain Mike's for the win over here. You're a Mountain Mike's guy. Mountain Mike's is okay. It's a decent chain. I do like Papa John's better. I like Round Table better out of the chains.
My brother is probably going to get. He usually gets a place. We have a place called Guida's here. They do New York style thin, but they make it Sicilian shape. If that makes any sense.
So they make it like a square, a rectangular.
Yeah, they make it like a square rectangular pizza, but it's thin.
I've seen that.
They use the cup and char pepperoni. It's really good.
I love.
There's another place that me and my brother like, but it's too far, and then your pizza gets cold. Papa John's for me. If I'm hungry and I want to eat quickly, why the hell are you going to spend a ton of money when you can get some cheap ass pizza? What are you laughing about?
I got a funny text. I'll tell you when the stream's over. It's in regards to some stuff. So something we've mentioned on the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, people. Me and Bashar actually get along outside of YouTube. So, yeah. It's not one of those like fake pretense collaborations where
Oh
we
my
don't talk to
gosh,
each
that's
other.
too
No, we're
funny.
actually cool. Fired Up 49ers likes tacos. Pizza's my jive, and
You know what? If you grew up in California, I think you'd be more accustomed. I'm not a big taco guy, but Mexican food,
I'm not either.
I love quesadillas and I love burritos.
I
Give me some quesadillas and some good burritos. I don't know how the Mexican food is out in New York or Rochester.
Rick Diaz says, you want to talk about food here in Chicago? We got a lot of Mexican food. One of the best tacos you got, best burritos, tostados.
Yeah, Chicago's actually pretty known for Mexican food. They have a large community there. And Avatar. Well, whenever I hear the name Avatar, I think of that "You Kicked My Dog" video, the little cartoon. You guys probably know what that is. The Indian curry is a marinade they use in all types of non-veggie food, and the yellow curry is called dollar lentil. Although that's really good stuff, by the way. It's more of an appetizer for me. It's not a meal.
Oh, CJ, are you going? You said you're going to the game.
Oh, CJ Gray's going to be at the game. He also said he likes New York style pizza, so shout out to CJ. Good choice.
Looking back.
Hey, CJ, give us your score prediction. And if you haven't dropped the score prediction yet, that just goes with the whole chat. Go ahead and do so. We'll read your score predictions. And if you have touchdown predictions or interception or sack predictions, we'll read them off too.
Yeah. Brooklyn Pizza is slamming. I need to make a trip to.
I need to go to New York. I've watched about 100 videos on how to make New York style pizza. I've bought the exact.
See, people fail to realize I live in upstate New York. I don't live in New York like New York City. That's a whole different level of pizza.
Yeah, I've bought the same flour that New York pizzerias use, but they keep saying it's the water, and I got the technique down and everything, and I still need to go to New York itself and go to those famous spots and Joe's Pizza and DeFara's and try them out one day.
Jupe says Chicago Italian beef sandwiches.
I heard about that. I've heard about those Chicago Italian beef sandwiches.
Haha, Norm Terry. My score is 51-6.
Well, damn.
Damn, son.
Hey, I would love to watch a blowout. Trust me.
My nana used to make me pizza every time I came over. She had to have her homemade sauce. She always had dough, and she would just make it. It would be like crooked, because she was old. She had arthritis, and it would be in this like crooked pan. Dude, that was the best.
A crooked rectangular pizza or a crooked round
pizza? Rectangular pan with dents, so like it was uneven and
stuff. But those kind of pans give you the best flavor, though.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Her pizza was. I actually preferred her sauce over my mom's.
Okay.
Because my mom's sauce is more acidic, where my nana's sauce was sweet. And when I eat pizza, I don't want super acidic sauce. I want something with a little flavor.
People put sugar in their pizza sauces to cut down on the acidity.
My nana used to think that sugar was vitamins back in the old country until they found out that it rots your teeth out. Oh, yeah. They used to think fat was healthy. So if you were like 900 pounds of, no, it's good. It's good. They thought smoking was good for you. Like it made you like distinguish. Yeah. They were ignorant back in the day, but we love them.
And Kenny's got 45-10. No Border Sports is here. What up, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan?
Ryan, what's your score prediction?
Give me a score prediction for tomorrow. We're talking food. We wrapped up the show, so we're just BSing right now.
Anybody has any food ideas or food thoughts, drop them in the chat. I'll read them, and we'll talk about food and score predictions and sack predictions.
Dupe is totally a foodie. All we do is talk about food.
Oh, yeah. I got you with that. I can do that all day.
One day
all different genres of food. From all four corners of the globe, we can talk about food for me. Pretty much had almost every cuisine there is. Oh, man. I think Raj is watching the show because he texted me some funny stuff in regards to some things we were saying. That's why I was laughing.
Aaron,
Raj, if you're watching, if you are watching,
I do not.
Raj, if you are watching, jump in the chat and say hi.
Oh, with a little bit more of a realistic score, we have 27-19 Niners. I have a feeling that's probably what the score is going to end up being. I'm just going for, I'm going to the hilt, man. I'm going all the way. Like, I want to see the Niners smash, but yeah.
When you say Niners smash, I think of Hulk smash. So Ryan is being a little conservative, 27-19. Okay.
I like your show because you guys are cool. Every time I come into your show, you guys are so kind and nice. You guys are cool. I really like your show. 4 thumbs up for your show. I'm serious. That's why I appreciate that, Rick Diaz. It's hard nowadays because there's all these big time streamer guys, the big top channels. It's hard to get noticed anymore because if you don't have a big name next to your, people watch you, and it's rare that you get any good positive.
I'm not going to
feedback, so,
pay for the blue check mark on Twitter, guys.
Yeah,
Just
that's not
saying.
happening. Some people pay for stuff on TikTok. Ain't that right, Bash?
I think they do. Yeah.
Buy followers on TikTok. They buy followers on YouTube. It's just, yeah.
Hey, everything's for sale in this day and age.
Did you call him
That's
Ted?
okay.
It's Bashar. Come on
What's
now.
that?
He called you Ted instead of Bashar.
Wait. I missed that. I missed that.
I
Where?
don't have
Oh.
the. I didn't listen. I spent the
Who
whole
said-
chat
who said-
here.
Who said Ted?
Charles.
Oh, okay,
Hold on.
okay.
I never had us up the whole stream. There you go. Those are our names.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Oh goodness gracious.
You and Ted keep up the great work.
I brain
You brain
farted.
farted.
Charles.
Well, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see my name on there.
Cheesesteaks are in Philly are trash.
You know
Really?
what? I keep hearing that Philly cheesesteak people that go to Philly try cheesesteaks out there and they're not even that great, dude.
My
and
brother
they go to the famous places.
makes like a cilantro garlic aioli. Dude, best freaking cheesesteaks you'll ever have. Onions, green peppers, meat, cheese. He uses like sharper cheese. I use just American. And then you put that aioli on it. I'll tell you what though, one time I put a little too much aioli on, dude. I had the worst heartburn ever because the garlic and the cilantro and the mayo and stuff. But oh my goodness gracious, is that some bomb? I told my brother, told my brother, like, say what you want about
Does your brother play with bok putty?
bok puri. Yeah, he likes bok puri. He's actually can cook. I can't cook at all.
Oh, I can definitely cook.
Japanese Berkshire pork. I heard Berkshire pork's really good.
Never
Dish is
heard of
amazing.
Berkshire.
Chinese hot and spicy chicken is delicious. That sounds really good. I've never had curry. Thai yellow curry is amazing. Filipino taquino pork or chicken. Yes. Italian. I should know this, right?
We have a huge Filipino community in the Bay Area. I've been to a couple of restaurants. But I never heard of that tocino pork that you mentioned, but I have tried the other Filipino foods out there. And yeah,
we are at the age where you got to keep Pepto-Bismol, dude.
You know what? I guess I'm one of the lucky ones because I think I only had heartburn from pizza once in my life.
I've gotten woken up. If I have a lot of barbecue sauce or anything with like a lot of vinegar in it, I'll be woken up in the middle of the night and it'll come all the way up and it burns like battery.
Wait, do you consider it acid reflux or is it something different? I've had
GORD or something. I don't know. I think it's acid reflux. I actually was supposed to get a sleep study done because I have a very small throat opening. Shut up, people. And yeah, I have a small throat opening. Thank you very much. So I don't know what that has to do with anything. I just thought I'd share that with everybody. Go to the state of Texas. This is no lie. Do you want a burger? I don't know. You heard of a burger called Water? Water?
What a burger. What a burger.
What a burger.
I hear it's really dry. I hear it's not that good. I hear In-N-Out Burger's better.
Curd, yeah.
That's from a friend of mine who lives in Texas. Yeah.
Aaron,
oh my gosh.
Do good in jail.
Look what she did. Look what she did.
What do you mean I wouldn't do good in jail? What are we talking about here? Oh, with the small mouth opening? Yeah, ha ha ha. I'm a big boy. I can handle myself, son. I got one good punch in me before I get jumped by like 15 people.
Hey, that's why I have a clean. I've never been arrested, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
Yeah, I've been in a cop car a couple of times, but I've never
been in a cop car. I got pulled. The closest that ever happened to me was got pulled over once from partying with my friends. We went to some bar in some random freaking city that was like 45 minutes away from where I lived. Never even been out there before, and drank up like crazy. I didn't get like wasted or anything like that, but I did have my share of drinks. But stupid me, I was just too confident to go 80 miles per hour on the freeway freely and act like there were no cop cars out there. And this is like at 2 o'clock at night. And the cops know that a lot of people frequent in that area, partied in that area, so they knew to pull people over. I didn't live in that area, so I didn't know. Cop pulls me over and starts screaming and cussing at me and yelling. It was two cops. They're both cussing their asses off at me, and we did a breathalyzer test. I think what saved me was I'm the type of guy, if I went out and drank or whatever, I'd always keep like some breath type gum, some Mentos or some breath savers type gums in my pocket, and I was chewing on those gums for a good like hour before the cops even pulled me over. So maybe that saved me on the breathalyzer, and I made it home safely. So
we'll close it out with this: Korean corn dogs, delicious, along with their chicken, Greek gyros, always the best. Yeah, I've heard
Oh,
about
there
it.
he is. There he is. What up, Raj? We so bright that we shining. Shout out to Raj. He sponsors Gold Bar Whiskey, and he be sipping on Gold Bar Whiskey on the rocks. So shout
Yeah.
out to Raj, RSF 49ers Live. A great dude.
RSF 49ers Live is probably him and Bashar and Ted are all my guys, man. Those are all my dudes. All really cool people. It's hard to find real people when you have when it's on the internet, but you guys are awesome. Me and Raj every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 9:30. No, every Thursday at 9:30. What the hell are we talking about? But I've had fun. I had real fun, man. I wanted to break it down at the end of the stream. I told you off stream that I wanted to take questions. I'm gonna start doing that because it's like I want to have fun on YouTube and smile instead of being like, oh, I just got to put up my pre-programmed questions to bash and then we leave and stuff. So everybody, thanks a lot for coming through, being part of the discussion. I hope we win tomorrow. Maybe I'll jump in Bash's stream if he does a post game for about 5-10 minutes or something. I don't know. We'll see.
If I do a post game, I'll let you know if you want to come on or whatever. I don't know what time I'm going to do one, but if I do end up doing one, I'll let you know. I'll let everybody know. I'll put up my community tab on YouTube, put on my Twitter, and be like, hey, I'm going to be going live and talking about the Niners slacking the Commanders.
We better be doing some slacking.
We better. If we don't, we're in trouble.
Hard to find real people with fake accounts and fake followers. Absolutely. Or people that have real accounts and then buy fake followers.
Or people who have 10 different YouTube accounts and troll people all day in chats with their 10 different screen names. Yeah.
I have troll accounts, but I only
Oh, look at you.
It's not me though. I'm not those. I don't troll YouTubers. Well, maybe one or two. But all right, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Here.
Everybody have a safe New Year's. Go Niners.
See ya.
Yeah.